Karen wanted my driveway shorter, so I built a spiral ramp that loops the whole house. The sun was dipping low over Maplewood Lane, painting the cul-de-sac in hues of amber and defiance. My name's Tom, and I'd lived in my modest two-story home for a decade. My sanctuary of quiet evenings and weekend barbecues. But peace was a fragile thing here, ever since Karen moved in next door. Karen, with her perfectly manicured lawn and an unyielding need to control everything within her line of sight, had decided my driveway was her personal crusade. It started innocently enough. A note slipped under my door, politely asking me to shorten my driveway because it encroached on her view of the street. I checked the property lines. They were clear. My driveway was legal, functional, and, frankly, none of her business. But Karen didn't stop at notes. She escalated to daily complaints, HOA meetings, and pointed glares over her hedge. "It's an eyesore, Tom," she'd say, her voice dripping with condescension. "It makes the neighborhood look cheap." I tried reasoning. I invited her for coffee, showed her the surveyor's report. She scoffed, called me selfish, and filed a formal complaint with the HOA. They dismissed it. But Karen wasn't one to lose gracefully. She started parking her SUV at the edge of my driveway, blocking half my access. She'd stand there, arms crossed, daring me to react. Neighbors whispered, took sides. The air grew thick with tension, like a storm waiting to break. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. Old Mr. Jenkins, the quiet widower across the street, knocked on my door one evening. He was a man of few words, always tinkering in his garage, but his eyes burned with something new. "Tom," he said, voice low, "Karen's been at me too. Wants my oak tree gone because it drops leaves on her lawn. I say we fight back together." Jenkins wasn't just a neighbor. He was a retired civil engineer with a mischievous streak. Over beers in his cluttered garage, he sketched an idea so audacious it made my heart race. A spiral ramp. Not just any ramp, but one that would loop around my entire house, a concrete monument to defiance. "She wants your driveway shorter?" he chuckled. "Let's make it the longest damn driveway in town." We worked in secret, permits quietly secured, contractors sworn to silence. For weeks, Karen didn't notice the late-night deliveries of rebar and cement. She was too busy petitioning the HOA for new landscaping rules. By the time the ramp took shape, curling up from my driveway, wrapping my house like a coiled snake, she was livid. The morning it was finished, I stood on my lawn, heart pounding, as Karen stormed over. The ramp loomed behind me, a surreal masterpiece of loops and curves, gleaming in the dawn light. "What is this monstrosity?" she shrieked, her finger jabbing at the air. Neighbors gathered, phones out, murmurs rising. "You've ruined everything, Tom. This is a mockery." "Mockery," I shot back, my voice steady despite the adrenaline. "You wanted my driveway shorter. I made it longer, way longer." The crowd gasped, some stifling laughs. Karen's face turned crimson. She stepped closer, her voice a venomous hiss. "You'll regret this. I'll sue. I'll have it torn down." That's when Jenkins stepped forward, his frail frame belying his fire. "Check the permits, Karen," he said, holding up a folder. "It's all legal. You don't own this street." The crowd erupted, some cheering, others shouting. Karen froze, her empire of complaints crumbling. For a moment, I thought she'd back down. But Karen wasn't done. That night, under cover of darkness, she hired a contractor to saw through the ramp's base. I woke to the screech of power tools and ran outside, heart in my throat. Jenkins was already there, shouting at the workers to stop. The damage was minimal, but the message was clear. This was war. The neighborhood fractured. Some saw me as a hero, others a troublemaker. Karen rallied her allies, spreading rumors I was unhinged. The HOA, spineless as ever, stayed neutral. I fixed the ramp, but the cost, financial and emotional, was steep. My savings dwindled. My nights were sleepless. Jenkins, my unexpected ally, started fading, his health declining under the stress. The final blow came quietly. One morning, I found Jenkins' garage empty, a for sale sign on his lawn. He'd left a note, "Tom, I'm tired. Moving to my daughters. Keep fighting, but don't lose yourself. I stood there, the paper trembling in my hand, the ramp's shadow stretching across my yard. Karen had won not by law, but by attrition. I tore down the ramp, not because she demanded it, but because it no longer felt like victory. It was a hollow monument to a fight that cost too much. Karen watched from her porch, triumphant, as the last concrete slab was hauled away. The neighborhood returned to its uneasy quiet, but something was broken: trust, community, maybe me. In the end, the spiral ramp wasn't just about a driveway. It was about standing up to control, to pettiness, to someone who'd rather tear down than build up. But it also showed me how far we can fall when pride blinds us. I lost a friend in Jenkins, a piece of my spirit, and the illusion that justice always prevails. What would you have done? Was I right to fight, or should I have let Karen's demands slide for the sake of peace? Share your thoughts. Where do you draw the line when a community's harmony hangs in the balance?